Today we will discuss the topic about slightly and what is a slightly and some of the key features of slightly as well as tags we are using in slightly and what are the main objectives in slightly and the advantages and some of the expressions of slightly and some of the comparisons and the relational operators like and the format how what is the HTML format of the slide. We will discuss it today about this one. Slightly is a templating language used in Adobe Experience Manager for creating dynamic web pages and components. Its syntax is similar to HTML, making it accessible for developers. Means Slightly also is working as for it is working for us for creating the dynamic web pages and also for creating the components. And it is most similar to the HTML. But we will call HTML in our slightly. HTML means HTML template language, and it is very accessible for developers. And the main what are the features in slightly are it promotes a clear separation between presentation and logic layers, enhancing code organization. While we are writing the while we have a code and we are presenting the code onto our page, it will separate the layers. Like if I want to present the first name, it will be one layer, and if I want to present the number, means it will be one part. Like I can say it was an one sentences, and each and every sentence will become as a one layer, and it was separate one layer in that particular part. And it also automatically escapes output to prevent common vulnerabilities like access attacks. Means it also has security integrations like means it was preventing from the XSS attacks like that. And optimized for performance, resulting in faster rendering of web content. Means whatever the content we are presenting in our component, we want to render the or we want to append the data onto our page. By using this slightly, it is very faster way to render the matter onto the our web page. And some of the slightly tags we can see for displaying the data, we will use slide use. And for the text output, we will use our dollar and the curly braces. Its output dynamically, it may be text or maybe variables. We will use this syntax. And for conditional logic, we will use like slide data, slide list. Sorry, slide test. It implements conditional logic. And for looping, slide data, slide list we will use for iterate over collections. Actually, you are all guys asking me about the multi-field. While you are using the multi-field, we will use this tag like list, because while we are getting the add button option, the same matter was repeating, but the matter I was presenting in those, it was not the same. For example, if I am mentioning name as Sai and the other name as Teja, I want to get the both names on my web page. On that time, we will use this type of tag, and we will iterate that matter by using at the rate child resource annotation, and we will present the multi-field data on our page. Okay, and template include. How we will include means this resource include and template include whatever the previous one it was presented. If I want to get those things in our particular component or maybe in our particular content, I will simply use the data slide include. In template include also it will be the same, and a resource include also it will be the same. But in resource include you can see the script or styles. For the CSS we will use this thing. Whatever the scripts and styles is, it was present in the that particular folder. By using this include slide tag, it was presenting the whole data in our particular path. If I taken the image path or email for any text path, if I mention that include the total script as well as the CSS which was present at somewhere, it will present in my particular path. Okay, and attribute binding, dynamically it sets HTML attributes, and we will use the tag like slide data slide attribute. And going forward in our backend thing, you can understand easily how we use these all the data slide use and data slide test and these all the. But for presenting or for appending our data, we are using right now. Actually, we have created the component for getting the whatever the content we have presented in that component. I want to render that matter onto my page. And the first scenario I am using slideshow. And the second scenario I want to use the Sing models. Sing models we will see tomorrow. And the main objectives of HTL are the full form of HTL is HTML templating language. It was introduced in AEM 6.0 by Adobe Persons. And there is a clear separation between presentation and business logic. The one more objective is everything is secure by default from automatic context aware escaping. And also it improves the workflow between the designers and the developers. Means if we have the workflow, it will just improve the particular differences between our designer as well as the developer. And after that, what are the advantages of HTL? Yeah, the advantages, it may be security wise as well as development efficiency. We have a great development efficiency by using this one because it was very faster to append the data and reduce cost. The cost of the by using this HTL, these are the things, the cost of that also will be reduced. And there is no Java knowledge is required to write HTL because we are writing the tags. There is no Java knowledge to write this HTL. And the expression. The HTML template language uses an expression language to access the data structure that provides the data dynamically elements of the HTML output. Means here we are not writing any Java, but we are presenting our data onto our page by what? By using some of the expression language we are using. And I will let you know what are the expression language what we are using right now. These expressions delimited by characters like dollar curly braces, and in the inside the curly braces we will present the data what we or maybe tags we want to write. And to avoid malformed HTML expressions can only use it in attributes one values, in element contents or in comments. Now we can go to some of the expressions like here you can see I have taken one H1. I have a class. Inside the class, I have taken the double quotes. In the double quotes, I have mentioned the expression like dollar component dot name. Here, what exactly it was doing means component will be the object, and name is the value which we were stored in the component. Means actually I have said that we are using the name property. After that, it may be the string and a dot slash. And whatever the name it was, if I mention name as I have stored in the name called Sai. If I mention Sai, the output will come. The output you can see on our page. And if I want the title for that component, I want to use dollar curly braces property dot jcr title. You can see in our CRDXE like yeah, for example, for this, I have a JCR title. If I want to present this JCR title to on my page, on that particular time, I will use this property.jcr title. Then the data will be appeared on the page. And some of the expressions we can use in by using the variables. In letters, we can use for Boolean, numbers, string, and the arrays. And for operators, we will use for logical operators, ternary operators, comparison operators, grouping, parentness, and relational operators. And for the options, we are using for I18 and string formatting and display context. Means these are the different types of expressions we are using in our HTL. And what is the HTL comparisons? For example, if we have a text and if we don't have, when we are having a text and we are not having the text, we are using this type of tags like div data slide text. And in the quotations, I have used the expressions like dollar property is dot JCR title equal to text. And the output here I have mentioned the text because first of all it will display this one. After that it was okay, it will be display as a text. If it is not, it will display as non-text. Okay, here you can see that we have taken two comparison values. If it is equal to text, I want to print it was the text, and if it is not equal to text, it want to print non-text. And for the length, I have taken that if length greater than equal to greater than 3, title is longer than the 3. I want to mention like that. I want to get the output like that. If the length greater than equal to 0, title is longer or equal to 0. I want to get this output on the page. And due data slide test. And here I am using for the JCR title dot length. Means for an AEM component, if we have the title name is more than that, it want to mention that AEM component dot max length. And if it is longer than that limit, it want to mention that it was the AEM component max dot length. Means we want to we are comparison. If it is the less length, it want to be present like that. If it is the more than that length, it want to get the output like that. Okay, here some HTL relational operators like uh, if I are taking a string or maybe the characters or anything, here exactly what it was done means I'm just taking the check if a string is contained by another string. It must be the case sensitive. Like I have taken the expression like dollar, I have mentioned a character A in ABC. If A is presenting in this ABC, it wants to return true. If A is not presenting in this, it will return as false. And check if an array or a list contains an object. Means if we are now we are checking the array that any object is presenting there or not. For assuming my array would be in scope and would have the following content like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Now I am checking that property. Like I am checking that expression like dollar curly braces 100 in my array. Is 100 is presenting in my array? Yes. Then it will show as written it was a true. If 100 is not presenting in my array, then it will written as false. And like that, we will use this relational operators. And here you can see some of the HTL formats we can write. If I want to present the title, we can use that dollar and the single braces component curly braces 0 at the rate format equal to properties dot title. Like that, I will use for the descriptions property dot description. Means here you can see component equal 0 out of 1. It was mentioning at the format properties. Means here you can see it was the array and it was mentioned in the curly braces. Means 0 at the index is the component and the 1 is called the description. It will print first the title of that description. Have you understand this one? Here component 0 means it was the indexing that component as 1. As 0 means array will start as a 0 and it will uh, provide the properties the title. If we are having out of 1 and we are just adding that description in that one position. While we are printing this thing, while we are running or printing in this format, first of all it will print the title, after that the description. And you can see that it was mentioned in the array. And if I want to print my date, for that dollar equal to, first of all I want to mention the year, after that month, after the date, and at the rate format I want to use. This is the syntax, we can't change any syntax. And after that my date, what are the name you have mentioned in that date you want to present here. Then it will provide the date of birth and maybe the date of this in this format. Okay, and uh, and also I want to mention type of date. Wow, what date it is. Okay, on that time it will print this the year, month, date, and our date, and also the type of date. Means like seconds, milliseconds, these all the things it was there. No, it was print these all the things. And you, if you want the 42, here it was mentioned the 42 hours. If I want to get that 42, here we have used that dollar curly braces and the quotations hash dot zero two. And if I want that type my number as well as the number I want to mention, how many hours it was mentioning. If it is a 72 hours or more than that, it want to mention in our scenario, we are not using those all the things. It was the basic examples I have explained you. We can write those all the things. As I have said that we want to write in our HTML, just mention that. Okay, I don't want to write here. I will just write in my Visual Studio Code because it will help me by getting some of the codes. Just go to the HTML, write H1 or simply write H1. And what I want to mention, details I can mention. After that, take the paragraph, or you can take anything. But while you are writing in the first of all, I want to present the name. In that name, I have said that we want to use one expression. What is that expression? The expression dollar curly braces. In that, I am using properties dot names. What is the name I want to mention here? What I have given in my name here, it was mentioned as a name. Just try to copy this one and paste here. Okay. The same thing I want to mention for the remaining. Simply go there, paste it. The second one, it may be the number. And the same syntax it was applied, but here we want to check the name what I have mentioned right over there in the number. It was the number, and see that if it is a caps letter at the starting, you want to mention as a caps, and simply change this one to the number. After the number, what we are using the gender. The same thing I have mentioned as the gender. Okay, I have saved this one. First of all, I will just try to print is this working or not. Just simply export this one. Export to AEM server. Yeah, it was successfully exported. Exported. Just try to reload this page. Checking your site.html. Okay, it was done. And I have written these all the things. Just try to save it. Go and reload your page. In the AEM page, go and check your. Okay, it was printed. See guys, here the name what I have mentioned, I will just mention the project S, the phone number, and the gender. I will just select. I will use the select, and I have the date also it was stored, but I doesn't use any date tag right over there, so it was not printed. And you can see, and here it was not. Here it is the mistake I have done. Like here I want to mention it was the gender, right? And it was printing the same thing. I want to mention the gender. Simply copy it and paste in your CRTXE. Save it. Okay, name is the project test. Number is 108 and gender it may be the select. And I want to change the gender like from male select to the male. It was one. And the I have missed one. Like what is the date of birth? We can mention the date of birth like this also. You just type this one date of birth and the expression is dollar early braces the properties dot date. Okay, simply you can export or you can copy that one and you can paste in our CRT. Just try to remove that one. Storing, but it was not occurring onto the page. By okay, but it was not working. I have one more format for that one. I will just try that. I just need double quotations. First of all, we want to write the expressions like the dollar, curly braces, and the single quotations. Here I want, first of all, I want to mention the year minus month minus and the date I want to mention. After that, I want to get, it was the at the rate format equal to properties properties dot date. Okay, here I have mentioned that. Now go and check right over there below this page. So that I doesn't mention that anything like date that date. Save it. Below this one. And you can see the date. Okay. Whatever the content it was presenting in my CQ data, I have presented the whole data onto the page. This is one of the process to show my data onto my page, to append the data onto my page. Okay, guys. And there is one more process like string models we will discuss tomorrow. And that's all for